Well, the Sport Specials Championship and SR&GT Challenge lost their race to the weather yesterday, but blue skies just about for the moment here at Cadwell Park. The loss of the race yesterday, the overall championship pretty much settled now in favour of Class B driver Colin Benham. There should be an exciting Class A battle to behold. We've lost Paul Boyd. He's going to be a non-starter due to a leaking fuel tank, so the chase is on. Rob Johnston and Clive Hudson both just behind him in the points. They could pip him to the post, but it's the SR&GT car, the Cobra replica of John Dixon, that's on pole position as the lights go out. He makes the best of the starts. It's not a great start from Rob Johnston from the outside of the front row of the grid. He goes down to third position. It's Paul Collingwood that makes his way through into second place behind the Cobra. He races in the SR&GT clusters. John Dixon then, car number 35 for him. He's the man from Dis. As the cars make their way out of Charlie's and onto Park Straight for the first time. A bit more of a dry track now starting to emerge. Look in the background, you can see that white and red Rogue Xenon of Patrick Mortel. He's going to be one to watch, I'm quite sure, as this race develops. Goes well on a wet track usually, but what about a drying one? Let's wait and see. Board with Patrick Mortel now as they head up towards Park for the first time. This car, oh, and there's a spinner ahead, and we've lost somebody there. That I think was probably the Cooper brothers, Paul and Adrian Cooper. Perhaps they've both gone off there between Park and Chris, but Patrick Mortel avoided all of that. I was about to say that car with the MR2 running gear. As John Dixon continues to lead on, Paul Collingwood in the silver, that's a Class C car in second place, and it's Rob Johnston in third. There's Patrick Mortel in fourth. The rest of the field making their way down. You can see the second of those Rogues. And, that's Leighton Norris a little bit further back down the order. That's the pale blue and white car. Now, within the Sport Specials Championship, points are scored within each individual class rather than based on overall finishing position. Bit sideways there for Paul Collingwood. He's in Class C, Rob Johnston's in Class A, and Clive Hudson in the bronze Eclipse just behind, the number one on his car. He's also in Class A. Johnston and Hudson can overhaul Paul Boyd in the championship. He's having to sit this one out due to that leaking fuel tank. But although Johnston goes up the inside of Collingwood and takes second place away, it's not necessarily going to gain him any more points in the championship because, as I say, Collingwood races in Class C. Class A is for Duratec engine cars. Class B, which the champion Colin Benham races in, that's for Zetec engine cars. Class C is for anything else that really qualifies up to a 340 brake horsepower per turn limit. So Johnston now at the head of the Sport Specials pack. Through to complete another lap then. Still Paul Collingwood second within the Sport Specials, and third is Clive Hudson, last year's champion. John Dixon still in the overall lead of this race in the Cobra replica. It's going really well actually, surprisingly well in these still damp conditions at Cadwell Park. Johnston turning his way through Charlie's once more, about to head on down to the Park Straight. Hudson there, slowing a little bit in the background. And talking about slowing, as Rob Johnston got a problem, it looks like Paul Collingwood was able to breeze past and has done so up into Park Corner. Meanwhile, we're on board with Patrick Mortel. I think this is the Anton Landon car that's just ahead. Number 12, yes, the second of the Cyanas. And Patrick Mortel, despite giving away a little bit in horsepower probably, managed to go through on the inside there. Good stuff from Patrick Mortel. Conditions improving all the time here at Cadwell Park. Mortel looking for second position within Class C in the championship. Wayne Rothwell and his Tiger has got first in Class C wrapped up. Was in contention for the overall championship as well until not too long ago, but had a disappointing Donington Park round last time out. So it's Collingwood, Johnston and then Hudson now in that number one Eclipse. Johnston had 4 straight wins in Class A at the beginning of the season. Hudson's had 5, all of them coming in the second part of the season though. But Boyd, although only 3 Class A wins, he'd been the man who'd been most consistent, was leading the Class A part of the championship, so we'll be so frustrated to have to sit this one out. Through to complete another lap then, out of Barn Corner and onto the starting finish straight. With Collingwood now back in front. Johnston in second as far as the Sports Special is concerned, and Hudson in third. Through the left-hander at Coppice, then the right-hander now at Charlie's. A long right-hand turn this one. Brings the cars out onto the Park Straight, the longest straight on the track. There's the champion, Class B Championship leader, Colin Benham. He's going strongly in his STM Phoenix. Leighton Norris behind him on one of those Class C Rogue Xenons. I'll tell you that Colin Benham is leading Class B here this weekend, thanks in part to the demise of the Coopers on the opening lap of the race. Johnston still tucked in behind Collingwood there as they make their way. Oh, there's a problem for Rob Johnston. There's a fire on the car, and he knows it. He's pulling up immediately on the grass up by the Armco barrier on the run to the mountain, but there was certainly a flash of flame out of the right-hand side of the car, possibly from the exhaust. It looks like the engine has blown probably, and that may well have caused a fire. Johnston getting out of the car. Now the problem just there is that there's no marshals at that part of the circuit. He's looking for an extinguisher now, desperately trying to find something to get the fire out on his car, but the marshals are on the other side of the track there. They can't easily get to his car. Let's hope that there's not too much damage done. So we look at number 19 going through. That's Martin Buckland in the Raw Striker. It's the yellow and red car. He's found an extinguisher now himself. Hopefully Rob Johnston has managed to get the fire out before too much damage has been done underneath the bodywork. Patrick Mortel there has got ahead of Mark Cousins now in the Westfield. He's just tucked in behind Wayne Rothwell now in the Tiger GTA. Well, this would be an excellent result if Patrick could get through here. It would put him to second place within Class C, but ahead of the man that's won Class C on a number of occasions this year, 5 occasions in fact. For Wayne Rothwell at the Tiger GTA. Patrick did have a win at Cambrai early on in the year when conditions suited him. He ran very strongly overall on that occasion as well. Towards the hairpin. Still Wayne Rothwell that's ahead for the moment. Colin Benham, of course, the Class B driver, the purple STM Phoenix. Still a bit further back down the order, but doing enough as far as the championship's concerned. There's Benham now. Oh, and off ahead of him, or at least alongside him, was the number 44 car of Marcus Roskill. The 46-year-old business owner from Hungerford has been caught out, I think, on the damp circuit, and the ex-Clive Hudson car goes for a spin. Meanwhile, John Dixon comes through. Checkered flag is waved, and John Dixon wins the SR and GT Challenge quite comfortably. A relatively small grid of those cars. The win in the Sports Specials is still to be decided, though. With the demise of Rob Johnston, I think we're just going to see Clive Hodgson doing enough to pit Paul Boyd to the championship here. Through the right-hander at Barn Corner they go. It's going to be Paul Collingwood that takes the Sports Specials win, second place overall, but a Class A victory here for Clive Hudson. He gets the fastest lap as well. That's just enough to give him the championship. Confirmation of the results then: John Dixon, the SR and GT winner, Paul Collingwood, Clive Hudson, and in 9th overall Colin Benham, the respective class winners. Colin Benham also wrapping up the overall championship. Confirmation that Hudson was second overall and first in Class A as far as the points were concerned. 2 clear in the end of Paul Boyd.
John Dixon, race victor there for you. A mighty machine to take around Cadwell Park. How was that?
It's always fun driving here, and surprisingly this car can be a lot of pleasure in the wet. I've had it a long time. I haven't driven it much this year, so I was enjoying myself, even though it probably wasn't that exciting for the people behind.
And what's the plans for next year? You're going to be back out with this?
Yeah, I've had this car a long time and I'm loath to get rid of it. Like I say, it's always a pleasure to drive. So yeah, I'll probably do more of the SRGT. I've also got a FI Corvette, which I run in historics, that I'll be racing as well.
Well, a very nice way to end the year for you in the SR and GT. Well done.
Yeah, and in the sunshine, not the wet.